shit is weird.
The internet made everybody life public.
Everything for clout and likes.
It's sad
and views.
because these same people is not worried about their real life like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I mean, no shade at all, but like if I see you on social media one way and I know you in real life, like I just feel like I'm losing all respect for you because your priorities.
I say that all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Like the time you spending on here, you need to be really working on what's really going on.
I say that all the time. When I see somebody I know your real life, and what you putting up here is fake as fuck. Like,
yeah, I don't like when people take
that.
I don't like that people take like. If you, I understand you have your business and stuff like that, but I don't like people who take their socials that serious. Like, once you start taking it that serious, you start creating a persona and you trying to be a person.
And you gotta keep up.
And if
with
you don't
it,
have a business or nothing like that, you're not promoting nothing.
Yeah.
You just literally just trying to sell who you are to people. Then that means it's not authentic.
Right.
Nah, that's
like,
real.
So I don't get into like managing all my pictures and stuff like that. Like, you know, if I posted it, I posted for a reason, like whatever, like that.
Well, I'm reading a book right now by Lao Tzu, and he says, "Whoever has to announce who they are doesn't know who they actually are."
Yep.
Oh, yeah, that's
What's
deep.
understood don't have to be explained.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
I mean, same thing.
And then
like that.
it's no like being genuine is priceless. Like, and that comes through to people. Like, you can't fake that.
Yeah.
Like, you can't fake being who you are, or you can't put a persona on because it always show. Like, and I have a great, like, especially in this time that we live in, I have a great respect for people. If you are who you are offline and you are in person, then I'm cool with that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a
but
good thing.
it's crazy though to that it's even something we gotta think about. Like, are you are you Instagram or are you real life? Like, which one I'm gonna get? You know what I'm saying? Or I don't know. It's just gotten out of control where you could be out and. Like for me anyway, I'm not somebody. I mean, I have my phone here right now, but if I'm out about with my friends, like I'm just focusing on my friends. If we choose to take a picture, okay, but I don't have to record everything. Yeah. But it's just so funny. I'll be out with my friends, right? Like we don't have phones out, and then you see, you know, let's say two girls together, and they just like scrolling, looking like they're not having a good time. But then when it's time to like post a story, Instagram, you see them just like.
I say this all the time. Instagram phones have killed like the club scene.
Listen,
like, it's not fun no more.
No, it's not.
It's the depiction of fun. It's not actually fun.
It's not, because once you turn that story off, y'all going right back to now at the bar.
You know what I'm saying? Trying to see what everybody else is doing.
Yes,
it's like
it's crazy.
Let me tap you, like, yo, we about to do this. And it's like, all right, get in the character. Like,
it's crazy.
Nobody's living in the moment anymore.
I didn't even think about it like that. Get in the character.
Yeah, it's like getting in the character because you go from scrolling to like, hey, and then you go back to that.
And then you go right back. Nah, I feel you. And
like, I'm cool. Like, I can tell when people having genuine fun. Because we got a homie that was like, he was rapping Meek on a Vaz was rapping Meek, and he was getting all the words wrong when he was rapping it. So, but I knew he was genuinely having a good time. So we been on him like, yo, you really was having a time. Like, that's not fake. Like, that's real. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And then I respect him the most because he didn't take it down.
He didn't take it down.
Like, I left it there. I was having a good time.
Right, exactly.
He was like a whole verse off.
Shout out to Vaz.
Shout out Vaz, man. He was definitely on.
He was like a verse way off.
I don't know it back.
Classic.
I don't know it either. So
no, but I'm saying, like, it was like we used to pray for times like this. He was like, hold on, wait a minute. He was already
he was already on the hold on, wait a minute. It was still the piano part.
That's his favorite part.
They still had the piano going. He was like, hold on, wait a minute.
Oh, damn.
He was waiting for his part.
Yeah.
Not the piano.
Oh, damn.
Y'all thought that was Rennie? I was like, yo, he way ahead of his shit. But it takes something to be like, to like stand in there and just like take it. Like, you know,
make fun of yourself. People scared to make fun of themselves now.
For sure.
It's just too much seriousness. Like,
it is.
It just relax. Like,
exactly. Calm down.
Like, I'm not trying to talk about my fellow black women, but I just feel like even when you see them, everything is just wigged and lashed and nailed down. You know what I'm saying? It's not to say obviously you can't look nice, but it's just like, y'all not celebrities. You don't got to change a wig every day.
The hood celebrity
y'all don't
killed
have
me.
photo shoots, you know?
Yo, you know
That's
what
the shit
killed
that
me?
killed me.
Go ahead.
I'm about to say the baby shit. Like, now nobody want to reveal their baby and shit. Like they celebrities.
What you mean? Like
they'll put the emoji over the baby face.
I don't want to show I don't want to give you the name of my baby.
So why post the baby? Why talk about the baby?
Right. We
That's
see the
what I'm
baby
saying,
body, but
like,
it got the
arm over there.
It'd be just the arm and shit. Like,
I want you to know I want you to know I have a baby, but you can't never see him. Like, who cares though?
Or not giving the baby name into like.
Yeah.
What killed me is the videos where the women they announcing their whole outfit, like dressed by Shein.
Oh
yeah.
By Shein. Makeup.
It's too
celebrities.
Much. Like,
what we
come
doing,
on.
I think we live in a world now. It's so trendy that once somebody does something, it's just like they just feel like they got to do it. Like I don't know.
I feel you. I mean,
the internet is ruining
men
things.
and women though. Men try, dress down the labels between your grandma's house in the basement.
Of course.
You her aide. You always best. What's that? Always best. You could be the aide and they pay you. You doing that, but you got Gucci and Louis.
You trying to make your grandma your client?
Not like grandma the client. You don't take grandma to none of her appointments.
Exactly.
But you cashing that check.
You cashing that check weekly.
And my mom is.
And she need a ride. She on a bus.
Right. My mom had to call paratransit. Yeah. Because you not doing your job. But you on Instagram, it's too much. Like I just want people to focus on your real life just as much as you focus on social media.
Well, I tell people all the time, Instagram's a dating app. It's not a social app. It's a dating app. It's a dating app. That's crazy. Everybody put up. The reason people care so much about their persona on there is because it's about presenting yourself to somebody, and then you slide in their DMs, and that's how you meet. If you, so many people that's dating right now met their significant other strictly from Instagram. Like that's their first encounter. Are these
real relationships or are these Instagram?
I mean, they can fruition to like real relationships, but a lot of people meeting their significant other that they're with down from Instagram. Like, where you meet him from? Oh, so many girls I talk to and guys like, where you meet him from? Oh, Instagram.
But are
you
they
think that's real? I'm about to say, you think that's real?
Saying. Like, are
no, they turn into real relationships.
Like but are we just posting pictures and trying to look cute on Instagram, or are we like actually like when we together, you could be like, oh yeah, oh yeah, that's what's up.
I think I don't know.
You don't know. Well, that's the next step.
I don't know how real relationships are these days anyway. Though.
True.
If I want to be honest. So what is a real relationship though when you talk about the aspect of like what we are in Instagram and stuff like that? Like how can you say a relationship not real just because somebody got emoji on somebody's face or something like that, or they meet in a place like a DM or something like that?
That's a good question.
In the world we live in, like people don't go outside; they meet people from the internet.
That's
like,
crazy.
You know
you said a DM was a place.
Yeah, that is
like a location.
Yeah.
It is now though.
Yeah. But it's crazy though because I do feel like nowadays social media is like a virtual reality.
It is.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's you could just totally make up whatever you want to make up. You can pick your job. You could pick where you live. You could pick your car. You know what I'm saying?
Do you read some people's bios? If you just read people's bios, everybody's important in their bio. Like I never met a bio that's not important. Even my bio seemed like I'm more important than I am.
So do you think that you can't build something real off of social media?
I think you can. I think it's possible.
You're just gonna fake it till you make it, huh?
I don't think it's faking it till you make it, but I think that like we don't live in an era where you go out that much and just actually meet people. Like where can you go to a club at in Philly? Like I ask people all the time, not a bar. Like where's a club?
If you want to be alive,
yeah, exactly. Like I hear people say Noto, but other than Noto, like it's not a bar. It's not a real club.
Somebody got shot outside of Woody's, bro. Like,
for real?
Or no. The bouncer killed him, but he didn't shoot him. He just whooped his ass.
A couple people just got shot outside of Trilogy.
Yeah, Trilogy. Or on what's
Spring Garden, right?
Spring Garden. Yeah, they just got shot out, and that was the last like few clubs just left.
How the barcade do? Can I still go to the barcade?
Yeah, that's not that's a bar.
The Fig.
The Fig.
That hookah joint at Jenkintown.
Yeah, but that's what it is. That's the lounge.
I know you gotta go out there.
Yeah. But I mean, it's real though.
That's a lounge. Everything's a lounge.
But it's crazy
now.
you'll say that because I'm at that point where it's like, if I'm not traveling, I'm not going out. You know what I'm saying? Like if I'm home, I'm just locked in, work home. Not even from just a safety standpoint, you know what I'm saying, or carjackings and it's just too much going on in the city. Period. So for me, I'm just at a point in my life and not even trying to be like bougie or nothing, where it's just like I would rather I want to see something different anyway, but I would rather wait until then to go out and really have a good time in which I don't feel like I got to keep watching my back. For somebody like me, I will never be able to focus or enjoy myself if I feel like I'm not comfortable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So, it's definitely like that. Like a sense of like anxiety come over you in the city because
that's
like
real.
Like not only you see so much stuff
on the way here, like it's crazy. Like I don't really drive that much at night anyway because like I said, once I come in from work, I'm
that's
in.
it. Yeah.
But like I'm right on Walnut Street, like yo, like let me make sure my windows
Right.
is up.
Yeah.
People driving crazy. We all at the light. You guys room past me to go up front. Like we all not trying. You know what I'm saying? It's just like little stuff like that. It's just the energy is crazy. As soon as I turn
Everybody
off of Cobb's Creek,
And then it's like,
it was just like, and it wasn't even something consciously. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I just felt myself. Like,
I ain't gonna lie. If you could drive down West Philly, Walnut or Chestnut, you can drive. Like you can drive.
I mean, I'm from West Philly, so
you
know
can
what
drive.
I'm saying? It's just.
That's how like 2nd Street is in like North, like in Poppy Land, 2nd Street, 5th Street.
But Walnut and Chestnut is 3
different.
Lanes.
lanes.
Well, no, they 2 now.
They shortened it. Yeah,
Stupid.
Cause they got a bike lane now. Yeah. I lived in West Philly for 5 years.
Well, when you go to Uni City, but if you go from what's that, 63rd and down,
What I always remember about West, like 1 minute you be in West and you in the trenches, and then a snap, you downtown. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it'd be one block, it'd be one corner is a Poppy store, whatever like that. The next corner is a fucking this college building. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But listen,
That shit
I
happened
always
fast.
love living in West Philly. Like even now, you know what I'm saying? It's just the city's just different in general, but it was always somewhere I felt like I don't know, like we just was cool. Then you need to go to Center City. You need to go to the gallery. You jumping on the L.
It's
like,
not the gallery no more.
It's always
It's always gonna be the gallery.
It's always the gallery.
It's always the gallery.
Somebody told me that and this was somebody from South Philly, so y'all can speak on it because they from South Philly. They said the gallery in South Philly. I'm like, that's not South Philly. That's Center City. Like,
I mean, no, it's not. It's Center City, but
y'all feel like y'all closer. Y'all feel like y'all closer.
South Philly, I mean, I work at South Philly, so I'm like right there.
Man.
So yes, I feel like you getting.
But I grew up on
10 minutes.
I grew up on Girard, so I feel like I was in walking distance from fucking
What in Girard?
like 5th and Girard. 4th and Girard. So I was walking distance to downtown. Like I remember being 13, 14. We used to walk to South Street.
I think
South Street,
the
South Philly.
view. I think it's the
South
view
Street to South Philly.
because I think the view from North Philly as opposed to South Philly to Center City is a little different.
Yeah.
Like it's more gradual coming from South Philly to go to Center City as opposed to North Philly. It's like a shock.
It is. And
It's
I know
hood
exactly
Center City.
Where South Philly's like Broad Street, like you see yourself, going.
Once you hit like Christian Carpenter, like all that, it's a little like gradual.
No, but it happened to us though. Like we go Collar Hill, which is kind of like then there's
Collar
Vine.
Hill is Center City, bro.
Yeah, but I'm saying like all right, so Spring Garden would be like the barrier for North.
Yeah.
Cause it's Girard, the next big street at the Girard
But that's
is
the
Spring
point
Garden.
because once you pass Spring Garden, it's
It's South Philly. Yeah. I mean, you in
especially
Center
when
City.
Hodderman was there.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That shit was popping.
But if you look at like my folks from Richard Island Projects, Collar Hill was like down the street from Richard Island Projects. Like So if I felt like I was close at Girard, Richard Island is definitely in walking distance. Like I remember being a kid, we used to get a $5 cab from the gallery.
Yeah.
That's all it costs. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
The good old days.
You used to walk to the gallery.
Yeah.
from 23rd
where?
Street. On 23rd Street. Bro, when I had jury duty from City Hall, I used to walk home every day.
You too old to be walking. Jury duty. If you jury duty, you at least 18. I ain't doing
walking
no
home.
That's a
walking.
nice walk though.
I ain't
Center
doing
City.
no
I mean,
walking.
we talking like just prime time, everything right there. Nah, that's a nice walk.
I was a walking motherfucker back in the day.
Everybody was a walking motherfucker. We didn't have cars.
Yeah. We used to
I had a
ride
car.
and you still
And
walk?
You still chose to walk.
I had one car and my big mom had it. So I had to walk.
You didn't choose a damn thing.
I had to walk.
Do it.
I had to
Well,
walk.
at least his
Yeah.
last lady had a car. I can
Yeah, for
respect
sure.
that. I
Shit,
can respect that for
I'm
sure.
a gentleman.
You ain't hit the Hackman?
Heck, man.
Oh, can y'all
I told
stop,
y'all
man,
last a
getting
couple
on
episodes
52nd
ago, I didn't
Street?
never trust the heck, man.
No,
Taking
we had the
me
Hackman in
all
South
the way
Philly
back.
too.
South Philly, yeah.
Nah,
I gotta
I'm
ask you this
talking about
question,
my
though.
52nd to Market, Hackman.
Did you ever buy
Come
any
through.
clothes from out there?
From what,
52nd Market.
I'm sure I did. You know,
Everybody
when the
did.
Chinese-
Everybody
when the
was
Chinese
fronting.
Slippers was on and popping. You know, you went down to 52nd Street, get all your colors.
Yeah.
The Deuce for sure.
Nah, the Deuce, like, it's crazy. That
I
whatever
wasn't
you
buying no real forces. I ain't gonna lie. I never forget. Like,
They
shout
had
out to
fake
my
forces
homie.
on the Deuce?
Yeah, like my homies would like, cause we used to go to the club a lot. So
Oh, yeah,
like,
they
I was
did.
going to the
They
club
did.
at like 13 years old, bro. Like that's how long ago I've been clubbing. Like I used to go to Club Egypt at 13, and they like, man, I'm not wearing no brand new fucking forces in there. Like they go to the Deuce, and, not the
Get
Deuce.
some-
We had like something similar down our way. Get some fake ass forces and wear them in there and dick them,
that's
and then
crazy.
toss them.
That's crazy.
I'm not dipping my new forces.
Not the Fazo.
Yeah. Exactly. But this part 2 to the tie episode. What we gonna call this? Bow tied up or something like that. We gotta find some slick name.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we gonna slick it up.
We gonna talk about your vacation,
My
like
vacation?
that.
Okay.
Yeah, you just said you like to travel and stuff
I
like
love
that.
to travel.
Where was the last place you went to?
I just came from Cartagena, Colombia.
Colombia. Wow. How was that?
Colombia. That's actually my second time there.
Okay.
I have not to cut you off. I have a coworker that absolutely loves Colombia, but for a different reason.
No.
We ain't gonna talk about that.
Yeah, it's a guy. Yeah. I was telling her about it. I said,
I didn't say no names, John. I didn't say no names. I just said, but go ahead.
Oh, listen. Whenever I'm on my flight,
I said he go every 5 weeks.
Oh my God.
it's like a thing. I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell y'all. The first time I went, I was on a plane and it was a guy sitting next to me.
Killer.
So,
Yeah.
you ask people, oh, what brings you? What y'all
Right.
doing? So he was telling me that he had came down with his, like he had a group
Group
of
of
friends.
friends,
Yeah. Or like it was his cousin's birthday or something.
That might have been him.
It might have been.
Yeah, it might be him. Was he cocky?
Nah, he was cool. He
All
was
right.
cool. But
Was he
was
talking
with a
about
group
himself in the
people.
third person?
Nah, not this one. But yeah, that's what he was saying. He's like, I ain't down here for no reason but to see what they talking about. They want to celebrate their birthday. They come all the time.
Yeah.
So we definitely was talking about that. But
alright.
nah, I mean, I just think it's crazy. I can't even tell you what led me there because I feel like I'm at the point I'm just trying.
Right.
I want different places and not just what everybody talking about. Even though I
Right.
feel like Cartagena is one of the ones that
Right.
are getting to be a popular vacation spot. But I'm telling I want all black people to go. Like, for
Yeah,
real.
I talked to you
want
and you
all
was
black
like, yo,
people
you
to
should go. You
Nah,
should go.
seriously. I mean, my first international trip was in Mexico, and I mean, it was Cabo, and I believe because of the type of resort I stayed at, it was very upscale.
Yeah.
So
Right.
of course, black people, we're aliens for some
Right.
reason because we can't afford to be in these
Yeah.
spaces.
Yeah.
So I remember that being the first time, since it was my first time out the country, and also the way I felt, a lot of prejudice. A lot of we were second class citizens, they helping other people first.
Yeah.
This in
Of course,
Cabo.
This is in Cabo.
Okay.
This is at the resort.
Right,
You know what
right,
I'm
right,
saying? When we had kind of went to this the little town part, I can't recall if it was like that, but it definitely was at the resort.
Yeah.
The people that worked there as well as the guests.
Well,
know what I'm
a lot
saying?
of people, they endearing to people.
Yeah.
When you went to Colombia, what month was it?
I just came back
It was during
So October.
September
recently,
and October.
like,
Yeah,
what
I was
was-
there last month.
No, because I know in January they have they have 2 holidays.
like a
It's
festival or something.
it's one festival. So it's 2 festivals,
Mm-hmm.
the 2 days. So I think it's the beginning of January. One day it's called Black's Day, I think, and they all in blackface.
Yeah.
But the next day is called White's Day, and they all in whiteface.
Oh yeah.
Is this in Colombia?
Yeah.
What part of Colombia?
I think it's like a
It's like a
international.
universal thing.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that.
But it's supposed to it's for unity, that's why.
And
they,
I wouldn't be surprised because that was one of the first thing I noticed. Because, like I said, because of my first experience, I'm very particular, on how I feel.
Right.
So that was one of the first things I noticed in Colombia was how they celebrated blackness in a way that I've never seen before. You know what I'm saying? You go around the area. I stayed in Cartagena, Colombia. It's so many. It's a few different ones. Medellin is another one that I hear is beautiful.
Medellin.
Medellin.
Well, they say Medellin.
Yeah.
That's where Pablo at.
That's the coat.
Pablo.
Yeah, we know that
Y'all know that one? I
We
hear
know
it's
Medellin.
beautiful.
We
I
watch
hear it's beautiful.
Narcos. That's why.
one.
Listen, y'all gotta go.
We gonna
'Cause I
go.
hear it's really
We gonna put ourselves on our
We gonna
feet.
be there.
Yeah, no, I'm playing.
it's booming now.
Yeah.
It's I feel like because of movies and stuff, a lot of Americans
Yeah.
we didn't do that.
Right.
We didn't go there.
Right.
But nah, when I say they got beautiful portraits everywhere, Black Power. Just
Okay.
blackness.
Oh, wow.
Over there, it seemed as a black woman and obviously brown skin, I don't feel like. Well, I felt like it was the opposite. We were exotic over there. So the men are looking at us ooh. And, and it's just crazy that, I mean, obviously I know I'm an attractive woman, but it's just crazy that over there it was just
It's the choice. Yeah.
exactly. It was
Yeah.
just I choose you over everybody else.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
just
yeah.
different looking.
Queen.
Right.
So
And
all right,
and I had never experienced it in the States.
I just looked it up. So January 5th is Black's Day, and then January 6th is White's Day.
Okay.
And did they say a certain area, or they just say that's a Colombian
It just
holiday?
says, yeah.
Oh,
It's just,
wow.
yeah.
So yeah, I believe it would be unity because even there,
Yeah.
where I stayed in an area called Gethsemane, which is very good for tourists.
Okay.
They had when I say the Airbnb I stayed at, you literally could open your door and at a certain hour, it's like the whole street was just like whatever you need, food, drinks. Like I could open up my door with a table right there. I could sit down and eat and drink.
Oh yeah. Wow. See, I think people had like we got a
culture.
We got a like a drug movie like perception of Colombia.
But that's on purpose. You got to think about it. It's a country of color.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's a minority country. We know in America how we view countries of color that are not Europe.
Right. Yeah. So
but it's not
that
like
is true though. They treat you
like
they teach you that like Paris is the place to go.
Yeah, because I would never ever have Colombia on my destination.
I felt like we wasn't safe in Colombia.
Yeah, I did.
I said it like after I talked to you, my homie. I told you he getting married, so we like making like plans for like bachelor party and stuff like that. And I brought up Colombia, and like one of his brothers, kind of older, like he like, you crazy? He laughing like I was playing, like I was saying like let's go down there and get some coke or something like that. I was like, no, the like vacation. He was like, you crazy, truck.
But y'all don't understand though. It's a part of the Caribbean. People don't understand Colombia is a part of the Caribbean. It's not Jamaica, it's not Bahamas, but it's still a part of the Caribbean.
Okay,
so that's another reason why blackness, like Afro Latina, like it's a Latina country. But it's still the blackness is still celebrated because it's still a part of the Caribbean.
It's a lot of Afro Latina people there.
Absolutely. So I felt safe. I felt respected. I felt valued. It was just a whole different vibe from America, and I'm just craving that right now. And being a nurse, working through the pandemic, seeing how nurses were treated, but then not that we needed the George Floyd situation to happen for us all to talk about the racial stuff, but we know once that happened, now we could talk about the racial. Like it's just been so much going on, and I'm at a point where I'm like, you know what? I feel like we were taught that America is the best country, and it's really not. It's best for certain things or good for certain things, but I'm at a point where my goal is just to see what else is out there because America is not all that there needs to be. And if I feel safer as a black woman in Colombia than I do as America, that says a lot.
Yeah, it does.
I was saying that too. Though I was like, it's a false narrative that like, not just black people in general. That like, you live like. Everywhere else is like a tyrant ruling country, and like if you live in the best country in the world,
anywhere else you go, you're going to be unsafe and all of this, and it's like no, like, and that's why I'm telling people go to Colombia, Jamaica, Bahamas, all of that is beautiful. Yes, go, but branch out a little bit. I just don't want to go to the same vacation spot, sit at the resort, at the
drink
pool.
the same drinks with the
syrup. Drinks.
You are immersed in a culture like that. Gethsemane area, I told you, they got everybody flag on the street. Like they celebrate everybody.
That's good.
And they respect and love everybody.
That's what I said too. I said my next vacation, I wanted to be like cultural. And not just like
turn up
for like America inside of like, you know what I mean? You just turning up and drinking and stuff like that.
That's why I was going to Jamaica thinking that was more cultural, but I think I'm gonna do
like when I went to the Bahamas, I didn't even get like authentic food. Like I had to go like off the whistling to get like authentic food because it's like even then I felt like it was just like catering to like American people just in general, like cheeseburgers and all that. I ain't come all this far to eat a cheeseburger. I can eat that shit around the corner.
Though, right?
I was on the resort, but I went off the resort.
I'm talking about the resort was not the
the resort was like was based on that, like you know what I mean.
Yeah, they're trying to cater to America.
But it's how the slave trade, like the ships and stuff, like countries like Brazil, Colombia, Cuba. You got to think about it like. A lot of the culture that they have, especially like with the drums and the dancing and stuff like that, is all African descent. Right. That's where the people landed at. You don't realize it because they try to separate it as these are Latino people, but
but it's still black. Latino.
I never got that though. I think like Spanish people were Latino descents. I think they kind of like separate themselves from black people too though. Yeah. Like you can meet Dominicans and stuff like that that's darker than us, and it's like they divide themselves. They feel like they don't want to be. I think the media.
It's the same. But it's the same way we do it amongst ourselves.
Yeah, that is
dark
true.
Skin versus. I mean, it all comes back from what we're talking about. Slavery time. We're going to separate y'all.
Yeah, exactly.
Colorism, which we still have within our community. You know what I'm saying? It's just
light skin, dark skin thing.
Yeah, and that's why for me, honestly, like. When I went to Colombia the first time, I can't even tell y'all what led me there. I just felt like, again, I wanted to do something different. And for me, if I have a trip on my calendar, it just helps my mental health. But when I went, I was just like blown away, almost like, oh, like, not only do I feel safe, like y'all looking out, like
y'all
you know,
really
I'm
treat
like
me
y'all
special.
treated me, and not just it wasn't like a fetish where it's like we just love darker black women and ooh, we just want you. It was like, no, like you a queen, like you know what I'm saying, like whatever
That's
you
dope.
need, like how can I help you? You know,
I went to the Bahamas, man. They was like, I was like, can I get some of that right there? They was like, clean it, hun, take it. Like, they just cut that shit. Hurry up,
like, get out my face.
Get out the fucking line, like hurry up, like damn.
Listen, no, I probably sound like a Columbian spokesperson, but I'm just telling black people. I just want black people to go.
There's some people out there, but they go on the trip.
I just want black people to see the art. When I say y'all the art, the music, I can show y'all on my phone. Like I mean, like black power, afros, dark women, and they're just celebrating it, and it's just plastered all over the country.
I think for like America be like a country that's made up of so many different races. You think that we'd be more like together? We like more, we more separate. We more divided than any
country.
Like you can go to a European country where it's mostly all like Irish people and be of a different color, a different creed, and go there and be embraced. Right. But somewhere where people constantly, you walk up and down the street of people of different creeds of Asians, Africans, and French, all types of things, Irishes and all that, and you walk up and down the street every day and see different variants of who we are, and we still judge each other more than people that don't see each other. Like that's crazy.
I get it, but what country are we in? How was it founded? How was it started? Did we ever address the cultural issues? Or
we don't have culture here. It's just like a bunch of people thrown together. Yeah,
right.
Which is why I feel like I'm at a point where I'm longing for culture.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie. I already was sold on Columbia on my man that I work with there, but you sold it even more.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna show y'all pictures. The only thing is, try to get your little Spanish together.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Of course, you can use your phone.
I'm gonna use my little dictionary.
Oh yeah, no. When I went there at first, that was like maybe the first thing that had me like, ugh. But I was able to get it, and I went back again, and I'm gonna be going back.
Oh, you went more than once.
She just said she went twice in 2 months. You go more than my man, and he tricking out there.
He go a lot. Well, he ain't supposed to say what he was doing.
Cut that out. But honestly, I don't even think
Mr. Mark.
But that might not be the only reason he going though. To be honest, I mean that's a big reason. All right, well when y'all go, y'all let me know.
No, I'm playing.
Y'all let me. I'm just saying based on.
I'm gonna let you know. I'm playing.
Go after November, okay? Go after November.
December 1st, I'm out. December 1st, I'm out. I'm gonna come back like Lil Wayne.
Oh my goodness.
I'm done, yo. I'm done, but nah, y'all gotta let me know.
Yeah, but
I wanted to get back to something. Now it's off topic from vacation, but. I mean, we had conversations that we wanted like female intake on, like, and we talked about like stuff we did during the pandemic. You said you was a nurse, and I want to know like how was it during the pandemic being a nurse?
Yeah. So the blessing was that when the pandemic hit, I was actually outpatient at the time.
Okay.
The craziest thing is that maybe a year prior, I was inpatient on an orthopedic unit, which ended up turning into a COVID unit.
Oh wow.
So. God did what he always does, hooked me up and placed me somewhere different. And that obviously the pandemic was very scary in general, but it was a lot different because I was on the outpatient side. You know what I'm saying? I have a regular schedule, like a Monday through Friday, 8 to 5.
Okay.
I'm a nurse supervisor. So at the time, our office had to close down because at this point, everything was shutting down.
Yeah.
Right.
One of our offices had to stay open because we service like pregnant patients.
Right.
But the like smaller satellites, we just had to shut it down.
Right.
So it was real scary, obviously, working in a hospital or even on the outpatient side. That's when, hospitals could get mass, but the mass thing was, it was just a mess.
It was, yeah.
And I just remember feeling, it was a scary time for all of us, really. Yes. But again, I'm a believer, so I didn't let myself get so overwhelmed.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, this is the profession I chose.
Right.
But at the same time, I felt blessed in that God had just removed me from a place where my stress level would have been on the whole. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if I would still be here today.
Thanks.
If that was the case. So that's another component I feel that has me, like, I'm just at this point of just transition. When I just mentioned a minute ago, wanting to transition kind of not even out the U.S., but just I guess have another option, so to speak. Yeah. But even with nursing, it showed, this country don't care about nurses. You know what I'm saying? Like, thank God I was able to take some time off because I had so many hours accumulated where I was able to take off an extended period of time and still get paid. But like the nurses that worked inpatient, I don't recall the hospital saying, okay, y'all that worked through the pandemic, take time off. Or, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, figure it out, you know? And I don't know.
And at the end of it all, they got blankets and hoodies and pizza
just
parties.
Signs, health with heroes. Like,
and I'm sure y'all they seen a lot and they've been through a lot, like as far as like the deaths and all that shit. Like that's very traumatic.
On a regular basis,
it's traumatic. Right.
You know what
I think the biggest slap in the face for nurses was hiring travelers for this amount of money, but you wouldn't give bonuses or increases and raises or anything like that.
Yeah, no, and
or just like telling people you gotta get the vaccine or you out of a job. After all I sacrificed all summer and all that. This how you repay me is telling me that if you
I
don't
ain't get sick all year in COVID, but now you telling me I have to get the vaccine.
And I've dealt with all the patients that's going through all this stuff, watch people die in front of me and stuff like that. Right. And you telling me that if I don't get this vaccination, I don't have a job no more.
Yeah, I mean, the whole system has always not been the best. But I definitely, the pandemic blew the lid off of so many different things.
Issues.
Sure.
Healthcare is one of them. Healthcare is still struggling now. I mean, there was already a nursing shortage. Can you imagine what kind of shortage it is now? Where it's like, oh, well, I did all of that and what you give me? Oh, okay, I'm out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
I think that was
and it's scary,
thing.
though. It's very scary because God forbid when you go into the hospital, who's taking care of you?
Right.
That's scary. So healthcare, I mean, I'm not going to get into details, but just going through a lot with my organization now with just, management having this very outdated sense of how things are supposed to be run. And me as a young Black woman in leadership, it's like you trying to operate from a place of like you baby boomer age. You know what I'm saying? Like you different. Like
it's outdated.
I'm the future basically. So I know I'm a young Black woman with these credentials and you could be intimidated or whatnot, but at the end of the day, times are changing. And if you don't do what you want to do to retain your staff, who's going to be taking care of these patients?
Another episode we saw we had was about the after. Did you see that? It's an aftershock documentary on.
Oh yeah.
And that it talked about, was it like women of color, like their dealings and how they're treated and during pregnancy and stuff like that. Right?
It talks about the mortality rate of Black women in pregnancy.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was something that was like how you treat it. That is like they even spoke about how they had a scale to like your pain threshold was based on your race and things of that nature. Yeah.
I mean, so on one hand, what I will say is not that it ever will justify the lack of taking a Black woman's pain seriously, but I will say from what I noticed working inpatient is that I believe, this is my theory, Black people, we just resilient. I know that obviously we've been through some stuff. I feel like it's just in our DNA.
Yeah.
So I will notice, there was a distinct difference between what you could see with a Black person and how they exhibit their pain versus somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I'm not going to sit here and act like I don't understand where somebody could get that from.
Yeah.
Because Black people as a whole, not to say it's every single Black person, but if we want to just weigh it, we just could take a lot more, even from a physical level, before we're going to exhibit certain characteristics.
Right.
However, that does not excuse anything in terms of if a Black woman is saying something's not right, something don't feel good, something happened. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to always address that. And I don't care who the patient is. If a patient's telling you something, especially as a nurse, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm that point person. The doctor's coming in a couple minutes. I'm there with this patient the whole shift.
Right.
So we can talk about Black women on that side, but I can speak more because I don't have any children. I never gave birth. I can talk about it on the other side where I'm working on the hospital side in nursing leadership, have obviously my credentials, I'm where I'm at, and you're still pushing back at me because I'm a young Black woman and I'm a little smarter than you. Or you don't understand how I could look so urban and have these credentials and still be versatile and be able to.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been going through, and it's been a major struggle.
Right.
Major struggle.
I'll tell you that too, because I remember I asked you, I was like, do you flip your nose ring up for like work and all that? He was like, no, I am my Black self. Because we have like, coming from like the line of law enforcement, we work at some things we just can't do. Yeah, we can't do. So it's like we always play with the line of like being who you are and trying to be yourself as an individual or who you expected to be at work. So like face tattoos or certain piercing for women's and stuff like that. It's just not allowed in our profession. So things like that nature is like, all right, we kind of like I done seen girls put like Band-Aids on their nose every day because the hotter the piercing. But I definitely was like, you was like, no, I'm my black self everywhere I go. Like,
Nah, when it comes to my tattoos and my piercings, I'm not going to change it. At the end of the day, and this is another thing healthcare is going to have to change. How I look has nothing to do with the care I could take.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, God forbid something happens, you pass out right now, and then we'll be like, oh, no, she got some piercings. Don't let her touch me. You know what I'm saying?
But that's what the media portray people.
Also in 2022, like somebody, you might have a patient with piercings and tattoos.
Exactly.
And they might relate to you more because
that's true.
I think that's just an old school.
It's old fashioned,
especially as black people. We know we had to always look. You had to have your shirt tucked in. Your slacks had to have a crease. You know what I'm saying? We had to always look the part.
Yeah. And then even like people would like tattoos was like for either people who was in jail or like bikers.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to be some type of outlaw to have a tattoo. That mantra is like changing.
I think I'm a different kind of outlaw. I feel like I am an outlaw because I'm not conforming to what y'all say I'm supposed to look like.
Yeah.
While still having the credentials that I need to have.
Well, I think that too. I think so. Like even with the election coming up, I told people, I said, who y'all voting for? The guy in the Carhartt hoodie or the clown that's a fake doctor? Like that's a whole nother story.
We won't need to get into that politics thing.
I'm about to say.
That's gonna be a whole nother hour. But I'm not gonna conform.
I think you have to be. I think to be some type of trailblazing and stuff like that, you got to be some type of like you can't conform. Yeah.
Speaking of voting, like I feel like I'm forced to vote. Like my mom, like on the committee, like she like a ward person, and she like literally forcing me to vote. She told me she cut me off if I don't vote. Like I literally I did a mail-in ballot or whatever the case may be, and I literally had to video me dropping it off, showing her that I voted.
That you voted.
You know, there's one party that doesn't believe the mail-in ballots are real.
Yeah,
who's that? True. The Republicans.
I'm not.
The Republicans,
the right wing.
What does that mean? They're not real. Like what?
They think that if you put out the mail-in ballots, they falsify them and say there's more mail-in ballots than possible. Or they say you could apply for like 3 or 4 of them.
They
at
said
the time.
They was adding like dead people.
They was adding people in. That was how they did with the biting, getting in or whatever. Yeah. But needless to say,
Byron.
Byron.
Did you see Trump announced? Well. Rumored, I saw that on Instagram.
He will.
He's going to announce his 2024 campaign.
Bring the dime back. It's like, no.
It's like, how y'all feel about that though? For real though.
I had I got a coworker that's a Republican and he don't like it because he said that if they bring Donald back, it's going to bring the Democrats out, like the people that's like.
But how is somebody that literally caused an insurrection? How is that even a conversation?
Yeah, I understand that. But he said that people hate for him will cause like the fair weather fans that don't usually vote to vote, and that it's like a writing on the wall.
Honestly, I mean, this is just getting to be really out of hand.
Yeah, that was it for me.
And just to treat, not that I'm surprised at the treatment of certain people compared to other people, but I just still feel like why are we even putting Donald Trump's name? Like, why is he even still a free man? Like, you literally almost, like, I don't know if people understand this, and I just be getting deep with stuff, but, like, if January 6th went a whole different way, that's scary. You know what I'm saying? Scary, like, I don't think we ever...
People could have been killed in there. Like, they was going for blood.
I mean, they were going for blood.
Yeah, it was people that died.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that it could have been, if it was a true insurrection, that would literally have been like a dictatorship. Like, we're taking over. There's no more... democracy. There's no more elections where y'all voting for who's going to be in power. We're telling y'all you know what I'm trying to say? So I don't think we really grasped if that took a different type of turn where we would be as a country. So the fact that, like, I feel like it's taken so much time for this committee to charge somebody that literally could have had us all under a dictatorship, because that's ultimately what he wanted. And I'm saying, it's just, this is something else that I'm like, yo, like, are we, like, at what point is something going to happen? I don't know, but it's like, this is not cool.
A lot of people said, and Ross said this on his album, that was, I can't remember what album it was, but it was like Apple of an Eye or something like that. He was like, I'm glad Trump run for president because we got destroyed before we elevate. With saying that verse, do y'all think that we in a better place? Like, we're more united than we were before then? Are
we saying black people or a country?
Like, as a country in general, do you think like we more united? No. because it was even some people that were just like, yo, I'm just totally against what he's saying, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like I feel like the goal was like to unite people in general. Like, yeah, that's not right, and we are a country. Like, did that epitomize that, like from that riot at the Capitol and stuff like that?
No, no, because I mean, there's a lot of people that was upset it didn't go a whole nother way.
Yeah,
that live in this country. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think, no. I feel like we're always going to be divided when you have a country that was literally built from terrorism, murder, violence, rape, genocide. Like, you know, when we don't ever try to rectify that. Yeah. We're never, ever, I feel, going to be at a place where it's going to be a healthy situation.
Right.
Are y'all voting, though? I don't care who y'all vote for. Are you voting?
Definitely.
Yeah. You voting?
I was forced.
Did you
Yo, you gonna get your folks in trouble for that. You gonna get mama. You gonna get mama in trouble for that. Yeah.
Mom, I'm voting.
In the committee, the commission. You gonna get them in trouble with this drop.
The gag is, I told her I voted like a month ago. I told her I've been dropped that joint. I just dropped it in this morning. She looked it up everything. I don't see your name.
You know what I had to do? I had to look up the names for people. Like, I know who Oz is, but everybody else, I'm like, let me do some research on now, because I don't want to be the people who vote like
just Democrat. Cause
like even Kanye said that don't vote Democrat just because
no Kanye conversations. I'm sorry, and I'm a Kanye fan.
We supposed to get back into Kanye after
we can talk about Kanye and the Yeezys he got on, because
he got Yeezys.
My man, he we need to lift him up in some prayer right now.
He just need help.
I think he yeah, but
I also feel like at a certain point though, it's you don't have no integrity. I feel like he lost his integrity a long time ago, and this is prior to the whole mental health crisis. Yeah, I felt like certain stuff switched around once he got to a certain level. The anti-black stuff, I don't appreciate that at all. I didn't appreciate him throwing himself into a political election, knowing his power, knowing that all, you know what I'm saying, he could have advocated for, like, it literally was like,
he could have endorsed it,
like, for black people.
Yeah, he could have endorsed somebody.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like, and I've been off Kanye for years. And again, not that I don't like Kanye. Like, my brother, like, college dropout, like, I know that like, word for word. Like, I can rap it just like y'all probably can, because that's how much I heard it growing up. So it's not even a thing of I don't like Kanye. It's just that just because he's within my community don't mean I can't hold him accountable. And he should have been held accountable a long time ago, because I feel like because he didn't, it allowed him to have a platform he has now, where look at what it's costing him. But if we would have held him accountable a long time ago, we as a collective, right? You know what I'm saying? I feel like certain things would have been like, no, like we're not even letting you get into that point to you know, because now it makes me sad.
I think some of the things he say make sense. I think he just have a hard time articulating it.
His delivery,
like even his in his interview, like not his last interview, but like in past with him talking to Nori and stuff like that. Like when he say stuff, it's like, well, yeah, why you ain't just say it like that? Well, you know, I don't know how this, like with the whole thing of like slavery is a choice. I think he don't mean that exactly, but I can't make excuses for the words he said.
There's no possible way you can justify you saying that statement. Honestly, why are we talking about slavery at all? Why are we talking about it at all? Right. Period. Right. And if we are going to talk about it, this goes back to what I said earlier, the whole we as black people. Why is slavery on black people? You know what I'm trying to say? If you're going to make a statement about it, why are you referencing black people when we literally had no control over that?
Yeah, or even
I don't care how you meant it. You're still referencing black people. Why are we talking about us at all?
Right. Even when he said like the all what was it? All lives matter.
No, it was white lives matter.
White lives matter. And then he was like, "Well, my kids have white." So I can understand in a bit, not understand what he's saying like that.
Okay, but we know white lives matter. Look at the country we in.
Yeah,
we know that.
But I think he just
something that was
when he explained it, when he did explain it, he said he was doing it in jest because he saw a lot of white people with signs that said black lives.
See, that's the problem with him is like it's a seesaw with him trying to make a point and him trying to grab attention. Yeah. So like it's a way of saying what he was trying to say without saying all lives matter. Like without, you know what I mean? Without the tension and the t-shirt to come with it. So he's trying to market and trying to get a point across. And sometimes that shit get blurred all up. And that's what happened.
But I feel like it's still justifying him being anti-black, and he's been anti-black for a very long time.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I believe that.
again, I'm a black woman, so I'm not going to justify a black man's behavior just because I grew up listening to him.
Yeah.
He's anti-black, period.
Yeah.
So nobody should have been buying his apparel because it's just not something that what am I buying your stuff for?
Yeah.
Why am I supporting you?
Comfortable.
I support Fenty.
Cozy wear.
I support Fenty. Rihanna don't play when it comes to blackness, and she's never wavered on that.
Yeah.
It don't matter if she was poor in Barbados and now being a billionaire. She has never wavered on inclusivity and black people.
Yeah,
and so when it comes to that, I don't care if you a celebrity or not. I'm not spending my money on you if I feel like you're anti-black and I'm black.
Do you own Gucci?
I do, but how are they anti-black?
They came out with a ski mask that was in blackface.
Yeah, they did a lot of blackface.
There was one incident, right, that they removed instantly. That's not a history. That's not repeated offenses. Kanye has been anti-black for years.
Yeah.
I feel like Kanye is situational with his anti-blackness. So you have to go by Kanye like year to year.
But
it's
no,
like really
why am
weird.
I justifying Kanye because it's Kanye? Right is right, wrong is wrong. Kanye is a genius. Kanye is a genius on so many levels.
You don't believe that Gucci putting out a ski mask and blackface and big lips, they didn't know what they was doing?
I didn't say they didn't know what they were doing. I feel like it's an isolated incident though. Or is Gucci coming out with a line every year in which they're subtly trying to mock black people? Or am I talking about a black man that is a black man, came from the hood, talking about, had a whole song about how black people do when they get some money. You do exactly the same thing. It's a hypocritical type situation. So I'm not trying to justify what Gucci did because I like their stuff, you know what I'm trying to say?
Right.
But I feel like if I'm noticing a brand or somebody, whoever it is it's a repeated offense.
Right.
That's a little different, I feel, than me.
I
can't justify what they did, but I'm not going to say it happened every time they drop a line. They doing something where they trying to come at black people. That's not the case.
See, I think, and you said that like I can't remember what words you said, like rebel or trailblazers or whatever it is. Where you saying like you are outlaw. Yeah, outlaw. I think that's required. Like you can't just go with what everything do, because when everybody do something and things like Kanye making his brash statements or whatever like that, or Gucci doing like the blackface and stuff like that, if you just go with the flow, then you allow people to know that they can do whatever they want and treat you whatever certain way. So like that being of like, oh yeah, I'm an outlaw, and the simple fact that my business is not just based on how my business is based on how you treat me, and not just because, like, you know what I mean? Absolutely. I don't just buy this stuff because I have to buy it or everybody else is buying it. Like I buy because I appreciate the business and I respect the business and with the brand.
Right.
But if it doesn't reflect me or it doesn't support where I come from, then I shouldn't buy it. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's not like an outlaw, but it's just like,
I think it's just integrity.
It's in some type of integrity and some type of principle you have.
It's just having a code.
Yeah.
Like, again, I love Kanye, and I have to keep reiterating that because I have to. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, my brothers, like, this was, Kanye was a whole movement when he dropped. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about stuff nobody was talking about. And what bothers me also is how spiritual he was early on. But I felt like because of that, and it was so interesting. Did y'all watch the Kanye the documentary on Netflix?
Yes.
The part that really spoke to me was the scene with him and his mom. And his mom, she knew her son was arrogant. And she had that moment where she pretty much told him, like, Kanye, like, the giant doesn't know it's a giant. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like, in that sense, she knew her son. She knew he's very arrogant. You know what I'm saying? So she like, son, you can be arrogant because you are gifted, but don't let that have you where you think you on a God level. How we talking about Jesus walks, but then you name your album Yeezus? Yeah. It's you switching up. You know what I'm saying? At some point in time, you done flipped the whole thing.
What about us, like, as people, when we talking about you live your life in portions? Like, I think he's so removed from who he was in that documentary because his life, he spent over a decade with Kim and stuff like that.
But he chose that.
Yeah, that is true.
You chose to let your fame, and you forgot who you were.
Yeah, and I think what I do say is that, like, and Ski, you can speak on that. I don't know, like, life happens to you fast, and like you'll look up and you not know nothing like the person you were.
But I understand that, but that's the importance of being grounded, and that's why I bring up Kanye's spirituality. How do we go from Jesus walk? You know what I'm saying? Like when you listen to that song, and again, if you're not a Christian, you're not spiritual, it just sounds like, oh, he talking about God.
You have to understand the environment he was in when Jesus Walks came out, though.
But Jesus doesn't waver on. It doesn't matter what environment you in. If you a believer, you a believer. And if anything, I'm more of a believer when God done catapulted me to be a billionaire status when I know where I came from. So I don't feel as if my status is going to dictate if I want to talk about God or not.
But even in your structure, in our structure, it's like when you elevate your life to a certain point, you still have to constantly remind yourself to be grounded, to be thankful, to know that everything that happens to you, everything that happens to you is a blessing.
And if you don't do that, it's lost.
It's lost. Yeah, exactly.
Kanye, it's all literally being taken away.
Yeah, yeah. And at that time, like, and we talking about us on a minimum scale of like, oh, all right, we got a good job, and you know, you got your own place and stuff like that. Yeah, you able to. Even that, we have to like watch how the scale tip and like, oh, how much arrogance I got, or how much do I thank God for the things that I have. Now let's amplify that and put on it a billionaire status and a billionaire label of clothes and stuff. Like, you got regular kids walking around with your sneakers, and you an artist. Not a you never shot a basketball or nothing like that, and you have a high selling sneaker. Like, how do you keep your ego in check and stay grounded?
But for me, what I can say is I do feel like the loss of his mother.
Of course, played a major part.
Of course,
you know what I'm saying. I feel like that's where the disconnect might have happened, and it just never got any better. And you know, again, I pray for Kanye. Like, it's not where I'm bashing him. It's not that I'm like, oh no, you know what I'm saying. It's not that I don't want to support or I'm canceling Kanye. I just wish Kanye would have been held accountable a long time ago. And so that it wouldn't be at the point now, because I would hate for him to literally lose everything.
But if there's nobody around you telling you that to ground you, how do you become grounded? Like, his mom is his roots. Like you know what I mean? Like, throughout who he become in his life, and we all have that support that you know who you are. Like you're still that little child, and you still your mom's son or whatever like that. Your mom's daughter. Like you still have that. So in the most highest of being supervisors or in charge of this and in charge of that, when you go back to your mom house or you have conversations with your parents, you know who you are. That's a humbling conversation. Like, you know what I mean? It's a humbling conversation. And he doesn't have that.
And that's what's unfortunate. And that's why
I people around him.
True, because at that, to a certain point, is now about the clout. Not even a clout, but just you at this level where it's what you could get or what people could get from you and how they could come up by dealing with you. But that's why I would have hoped that Kanye would have pulled closer to God, you know, than the world. I hope he would have, when his mom been out the limelight, not married a woman that's now going to have him always in the line. You know what I'm saying? Because when you have mental health issues now, on top of the fact that you constantly in the media, I can only imagine how heavy that is.
Right. I just think he got more like, I think he got more demons around him than angels.
I agree.
So with that being said, though, I just kind of like, you don't make excuses with people, but you sympathize.
Absolutely. You give them grace, but at the same time, you have to hold people accountable.
Yeah, I understand that. You know? I understand that exactly.
Because the longer I don't hold you accountable, then when you really at the end of the rope, can I really say, oh, why you do that? I should have told you about that
in the beginning
5 years ago.
Yeah. Oh, this is a good episode. Yeah, that was good. That was deep. Yeah. Make sure. How y'all feel about y'all voting? Y'all said y'all was voting. Are you? This is what I want to know. And this we gonna end all this. Are you encouraging people to vote?
Me personally.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest and say I haven't.
I'm gonna say no.
Do what you feel is right, because at the end of the day, when shit goes the way you don't want it to go, you don't complain about it. So if you felt like you could have made a difference by voting, vote. Yeah. If not,
and nobody
can make you feel bad about your decision.
Right.
I'm in a place where like I feel like it's an uncomfortable place of voting. Like I feel like I'm voting, and I feel like the last couple elections it's always been a feeling of like the lesser evil. Yeah. And you shouldn't make decisions like that.
I know.
Yeah, and like I've had conversations with people that's like stone cold Republicans been voting Republicans for 80 years, and we can find a middle ground between each other, between his beliefs and what he think is right and what I believe in right. But then we end the conversation with saying that doesn't exist to vote for. Like, you know what I mean?
You know what it is? It's about who got the most money to run a campaign.
Yeah, exactly.
Why is it that a politician, that's literally the only job? If I want to be a nurse, right? I got to have nursing experience. Like, you want to see that on my resume.
Right. Yeah.
How is it that a politician, I could be somebody totally different. I don't got to have none of that on my resume.
Like
as long as I got that money.
Yeah.
And now I'm controlling your future.
Right.
Or why? How is it that politicians could be 80 plus? What's the retirement age? 65.
Yeah.
Why are the people know? We know why.
Right.
Because of we know.
Yeah.
But rhetorical question: why is it that any other age you a little too
or you got to
old
be a certain you got to be a certain age to be president? Like I was just talking to somebody that like I think it's 45 or something like that. You
like
may
why?
Yeah.
Why
like
though?
I think the people. Why are the people that's dictating the world that we live in for the next couple years are being made decisions by, like, even we talk about at the job, like people that's on their way out making permanent decisions about
control.
you know what I mean, the future.
Because it's control.
Yeah.
And we know the majority who has the money.
Yeah.
So
I want innovators.
Who has
like
the control. I agree with you.
I want people that's innovative and people who think different than what's
I
the
want
name?
people that care about everybody.
Yeah.
Not just yourself, your family, your friends, who looks like you. I want somebody that wants to make life better for everybody. If a certain group needs a little more attention, let's give them that attention.
Yeah.
It's nothing to say about you over here. It's just that this group, we got to give them a little more right now.
We got a old way of thinking about doing things. Like I said, I listened to the J. Cole song Brackets today, and he was talking about like and the song he references 2018. He said, "Why can't I pick what I want to use my taxes for on the app? Like, why can't I tell you where I want to what you to do with my money?
Right.
Like you taking it from me every week,
Exactly.
but." Like you taking I pay Philadelphia taxes, and Philadelphia schools are the worst. So what am I paying the taxes for? Yeah. Right. So why can't I decide where I want to send my taxes? Right. What you do with everybody else's money and your money and everybody in politics, y'all pay for the stuff that nobody else want to pay for. Mm-hmm. But let me pick what I want to use my money for. Like, why is that not an option?
Especially because I'm already voting. I already believe I'm trying to vote for the person that is gonna speak for what I want.
Speak for the things. Right. Yeah.
So why can't I just speak to where my money goes directly and just cut out the middleman?
Right. Like, why is it not a tab saying that, hey, these are the options that you can put your money in? So is it really about you being an individual and all that? Like, the independent party doesn't exist no more. Like, you can't vote for somebody that, like, you either gotta believe in everything they say on the left or everything they say on the right.
Yeah, Bernie can't ask me for no more money.
Yeah, Bernie burned me out.
Bernie burnt me out.
I gave Bernie money.
Burnt me Sanders. Like,
Hey
Bernie definitely burnt me twice.
Sanders. I'm done.
Not even that though. Like the way they harassing people with these voting text messages.
Listen,
that got me not wanting to register to vote.
My fucking mailbox.
They
if I get another letter in my mailbox,
no, what's the shit you posted the other day? My shit's so dry.
Yeah. I'm about to start texting them back.
Yo, I was dying, bro.
My phone's so dry. I'm about to start texting them back.
I was fucking dying.
Every time I get a vibrator or ding, I'm looking like, who this?
It's a whole different number, right? You be like, nah, I don't recognize this number. It's about
how you doing? It's the black people,
black women, black moms.
It's the LGBTQ. I don't know what I am because they all coming at me.
Nah, for real.
How the fuck you get this number?
The Black Mom Committee done hit me up. I'm like, I'm not even a mom. Like, how you gonna get my information? Like, I'm
LGBTQ too. I'm like, I'm not gay or nothing like that. Why y'all sending me this? Like,
they said we reaching everybody.
Everybody.
Then I get one from the black folks. Then I get from LGBTQ. Then I get from the black LGBTQ. We got the white people. We want to vote. I'm like, damn, everybody want us to vote. Like,
one of these shots going in.
Yeah,
somebody.
They just empty the clip. One of these shots going in.
Something apply to him.
I pick up the phone like, yeah, I'm voting. All right, so where you going? Yo, come on, you ask me questions.
Right, that's not your business.
But it's been a what? What's this?
Episode 26. One time for the one time.
Can I say something?
26 and 27.
Yes. I'm gonna say that.
It's gonna play in the background.
Okay.
Go ahead.
26 is like I don't want to say my lucky number, but it's like my number.
It
like
is?
my birthday is February 26th.
Oh wow!
And I always say C226 like everywhere.
Oh wow!
So this is crazy.
And we got you on 26.
Yes.
Ain't that some shit?
That's what I'm saying.
Wow, that's crazy.
I'm about to get it light.
Shout out to Sport for that.
Somebody goes on.
It's the dip.
Yo, it's the dip.
We out.
Peace.